Hey guys, what's going on? So today I'm going to try and show you why you should give Goldman SPX scalps a shot. So Goldman is a guy that is alerting inside my Discord, Sidekick Traders. I'll leave a link in the description below so you can come and join it. It's a week free trial and then $27 a month after that. At least for the time being. So we have a bunch of stuff going on. One of the main things we're focusing on though is having everybody scalp these SPX scalps that Goldman is alerting. We have Lance in here doing some of his own stuff, but also working on helping members to maximize their profits, minimize their risk on some of Goldman's stuff, which is interesting, different takes on it. Looking at using SPY or MES or whatever to try and change these alerts to suit people a bit better. But one of the big questions I always get, and I think I was very skeptical too, is can you actually replicate any of these fast scalps? You see a lot of these Discord guys going in and they're like 5,000% gains, 200% gains, and everything. And so I've been looking at various Discords, and I think you guys have probably seen me do a video on the Wall Street Bible Discord. It's full of people like this. And actually, so what I found is Goldman is actually the real deal. So I was really skeptical when I first came across him, and I really thought like it was just, you know, the usual nonsense. But over time, taking his trades, talking to other people that are taking his trades in the Discord, started to really realize that this guy is the real deal. It's not for everybody. It's definitely a high adrenaline way of trading, and you do have to be at your computer, but you can set it so that it alerts you just for his channel, for example, and mutes everything else, and it can pop up on your phone or on your laptop as a push notification, so you can actually see like when he's getting into something that you might want to try. So there is a way to set Discord notifications, things that allow you to follow Goldman. So thanks to BLC. So for you guys that are in the Discord that are watching this, BLC is this guy right here. I'm sure we won't have to go too far to find him. He posted some of the charts. Here we go. So BLC is awesome. So thanks BLC if you're watching this. I think it's fantastic that you're starting to post the charts, these here, showing like the entries and exits and things for Goldman. So this video is based off of this work, so you've really helped me a lot, BLC, to analyze some of this data. So let's have a look at them. So for you guys not familiar with SPX, you can trade it on most brokerages, including Thinkorswim, Webull. I think Robinhood's an exception though, but just check it out. It's nothing to be frightened of. It's very similar, just everything else, trading Tesla options, very, very similar. So let's have a look at some of the results. So BLC was able to put together the results. Goldman also gives a summary for the whole week. So this is the whole week. It was a short week. We started on Tuesday. It makes my job a lot easier in the summary to kind of go through it. What I want to do though is show you his summaries, because a lot of people see these summaries and they're kind of skeptical, and then let's look at the actual charts and the alerts and things. So let's get going. This shouldn't take too long, but I'm going to be quite try and do this quite carefully so you guys can really get a feel for these style of alerts and if you'd be able to replicate them or not. So this is the 21st, so day one of this sort of like test data, and you can see that he posted at the end of the day daily recap for the 21st of February. One trade, one profitable trade, 31% profits, current streak 25 in a row. And that's what's amazing about this guy, is he barely loses. When he does, the losses are not significant compared to the wins at least. So this is the start, right? So this is the first day, the 21st of February. Here's the actual data, so the same day. This was when he posted at 10:37, SPX puts at 1.6. And here's the chart that BLC made for us. 10:37 is shown here, and you can see this thing went down pretty quickly. All these charts are 1 minute charts, so this first trade is actually an example of something that probably would have been very, very hard to replicate, given that this thing dropped within a minute. It dropped right down to here. So this one is an example of what can go wrong, so you got to be really careful. If you had chased this one 2 minutes later, to reverse right against you within the next couple of minutes, and you probably would have freaked out and stopped out. At least I know I would have. However, if you continue to hold it, it would have been fine. He took the profits at 31% though, so within a couple of minutes, so from 10:37 to 10:39, he did take his profits. So unless you got in within 10 seconds of his price or something ridiculous, this is one that would have to be really fast. This would have been a difficult trade. But they're not all like that. This is probably an example of like the worst that can happen. So that this is the SPX, and these were the 3990 puts. So this is sometimes a trade, but you have to be fast enough to get in before the big 1 minute candle. So that's an example of a bad one. However, the next day he did 2 trades. So this is his daily recap for the 22nd, so the next day. And he did 2 trades. One was a 105% winner and one was a 500% winner. This is pretty amazing. And again, you might say, well, okay, did they all drop in 1 minute? Well, this is where it gets interesting, because the answer is no, they didn't all drop in 1 minute. They actually took a long time to work out compared to those previous examples. So if you just stopped on that first day, you'd be like, oh, this is garbage. You can't get in within the first minute. This is never going to work. Well, look at these examples. So this one is really interesting. I should point out what BLC's done here on the charts. He's put an arrow for every scale that is alerted by Goldman. So the first scale I've shown over here is a 100% scale. So that's represented by this arrow. So the entry is here, and then the first scale is here. The second scale is here, the third scale is here, the fourth scale and the fifth scale. And this is each scale. So the first one was 100% win, then he took some more at 133, then 267, then 373, and then 500%. And that all plays out in the Discord. I've only shown the first scale here, just it's hard to get all this data in one place in a way that makes sense. So if you'd gone with the first minute, you'd have still had massive amounts of downside here, all the way to 500% following his scaling alerts. Sure, again, you only have a minute or two. A minute or two is more than enough, though, if you're pretty quick with your options trades. You can get in within 20 seconds or less, 10 seconds, if you have push notifications on your system. The rewards are worth it, though, because you can get these huge percentage gains most of the time following this guy's alerts. And so that was one of them for that day. The other one was this guy. This is a nice example here. So this was the second trade of the day. He went to 105% on it. So scale 1 was 57%, scale 2 84, and then 105 completely out. And here you can really see this marks the time that you entered. On the left here it's 10:25, and you can see this went sideways for 4 minutes and then dropped off a cliff. Again, these were puts, so he made 105% on the position, scaling out as he goes. For people that are wondering how he scales, we have a channel in the Discord which talks about how he scales out and in, so you can kind of learn that from that too. So this was a good example of how you don't have to be in there in like 30 seconds or 20 seconds. It helps if you can be, but you can also, sometimes there's a little bit of a flat, or even sometimes goes against him just a little bit, and you can get in at a better price. You're not going to get every single trade, but he has such a high winning percentage rate that you don't actually have to. So if you like crackhead day trading like this on SPX, these things are pretty good. So that was the 22nd. Let's look at the 23rd now. Sorry, zoom out a little bit so you can see this again. This is his recap for the 23rd. He put a 400% winner, SPX 1.7 to 8.8. He also alerted a 2% break-even trade, won't count it in the win streak. So it's 28 wins in a row now, and then he didn't include this 2% break-even thing. I'll show you both the winning SPX 400% winner and the 2% break-even that he's got here too. So let's look at them really quick. Here is the first one here. So this is the one that went up 400%. However, I don't think he held all the way to 400%, so that could be construed as a little misleading. Still, it went up 209%. These are the scales that BLC is showing on his charts here. So scale to here, and then here, and then here, and then here at the end of each arrow point. And you can see that this went kind of flat for the first few minutes, and then really took off. And you got these scale outs here. Anybody else holding this could have held it a bit longer. So sure, the entries are difficult, but they're not impossible, and the upside is pretty big in these trades, as you can see from this data. Again, this is a whole week of data. There wasn't many trades because Goldman was actually traveling this week, and so let's zoom out again a little bit. And so it's not indicative of the number of trades he would normally be doing. Let's see here. So that was the winner for that day, and then the one below here, let's try and get in here, is the break-even one he was talking about. I'm trying to get this so you guys can see it, but sorry, go back a slide. Alright, let's see if I can do it this time. Let's hit this little button. There we go. Alright. So this was the one that he counted as a break-even. It doesn't even count as a trade. So you can see it just kind of went flat. These were calls, so if he'd held just a bit longer, it would have actually taken off. But he got out here. Again, time stamped 106, 106 on here. So going through this data, it can really give you that confidence to start, taking these trades and try paper trading them even to see if they're a good fit for you. And then finally on the 24th, he did this one trade. Again, like if we can zoom in here, it was at 10:04. It was puts on SPX. These are all SPX trades, remember. Zooming in on this nice 1 minute bar chart from BLC, you can see that he got in here and actually went against them for a couple of minutes. And you could have got in here no problem at all and held through this drop in the SPX, making the contracts go up to 36%. He scaled out 55% and then 73%. Actually nailed the bottom pretty well here, and he got out for the first one here was 36%. You can see it was 4 minutes before he scaled out, so it's plenty of time if you've got push notifications on your phone for Discord, or you just know how to work Discord well, then you could easily make these types of returns. And a lot of people did. Lance has been doing his interpretations of some of this stuff. He did some. Here was some of his results. He scalped it really quick. So he's doing them, talking to people that are doing them. He got 26% in this one from Goldman in 5 minutes. So pretty good. Anyway, my whole point here is that this is an awesome strategy. Goldman's SPX scalps are the real deal. Sure, they take a little bit of practice, but so does all of trading. This is something that you can adjust to fit your own schedule. So for example, you don't have to take all the trades. He has such a high winning percentage that you can afford to miss some. It's no big deal. And he usually does 2 or 3 trades a day. So there's always something going on. I really, really like this guy. I think he's probably one of the best Discord guys out there. That's why he's in this server. And I'm excited to take some more of his trades going forward. So hopefully that helps. Good luck, and I'll talk to you soon.